Hello everyone and welcome to the 18th place deck profile of what I took to the Layton UT Regionals. So I ended up playing Trickstar, and this deck took heavy inspiration from Ryan Useless, who got first place in Toronto. So yeah, I played a very similar list to his. So 3 Candina, the Stratos, 2 Lyco. If you play 3, you brick on it, and especially because I don't play Desires. If you play Desires, you want to play 3, but I figured that it was more consistent if you just played 2 without the Desires. 2 Korobane, which is the searchable Honest for the deck. It's not as good as Honest, and I wish it was, had a little bit better of an effect, closer to Honest at least, but it still gets the job done. 1 Lilybell, so that when you grind, you can just kill your opponent. This actually won me a couple games just on its own. It was really good. 3 Ash, 3 Droll. I played 9 hand traps total, but these are the 6 that I thought were the best to play. Well, some of the best to play. Ash just hits a lot of things, and Droll is really good with the Droll reincarnation combo, and sometimes it just stops decks entirely, so I thought it was really good to play. And the last hand trap that we played was 3 Gamma. This would be impermanence if I had impermanences, but I don't have them, and so I was going to play Valor instead. But I figured that Gamma was a better option because Extravagance always gets ashed. So if you have to counter that, if you draw this plus Extravagance, you just win the game because you can make Omega and you get a draw too. So you go just a huge plus on your opponent, and they can't do much about it. And the 1 driver to go with it. 1 Artifact Scythe. So this just shuts down your opponent's extra deck. It was really good. It won me a lot of games. 3 Light Stage with the 2 Terraforming to search it, so basically 5. 3 Instant Fusion. So this was really good. There were times where I drew all 3, and I think I resolved all 3, so it was pretty crazy. 2 Called by the Grave and 1 Extravagance, so this just stops hand traps. But this would be more of Extravagances if I owned more, but I only owned the 1, so I figured I just play Called by the Graves instead. But if you have 3 Extravagance, play 3. Don't play these. These were actually pretty bad. Sometimes I just drew these and they were just bricks in my hand. So I'd rather play the Extravagances over it. Especially because Gammas, you're Called by the Grave, basically. So there was no reason to play more copies of Called by the Grave when I already had Gammas. For traps, we played Triple Reincarnation and 2 Sanctum. These are the only normal traps that we play because... and then we search all of them off of the Trap Trick. So I thought that these were really good. The Sanctums you only really want to play 2 of, because if you play 3 and if you draw 2 of them, you basically have a dead card in hand. The idea behind the 2 Sanctum is that if you draw it, and you can just play your Scythe from deck. This is dead in your deck, but you probably won't draw it. And if you play... and because you play the 2, you can search it off of the Trap Trick, so that you can banish 1 and set the other. But if you play 3, then you have more chances to draw bricks, basically, is what I'm saying. So playing the 5 copies is good, and I thought that it was pretty good. Sometimes when I sided out the Sanctum, I would also side out the Trap Trick with it. So that was 4 side out targets. So that way, it was basically the same concept with the reincarnation. Like if I drew 1, I could still set 1 off Trap Trick. But yeah. And then last trap that we played was 2 Strike. So this was really good. I was originally playing 3, but I had to cut 1 for the driver so that I could play Gammas plus driver, because originally they were Veilers. And yeah, that's it for the main deck, just 40 cards. And for extra deck, we played 2 Pleiades. For Extravagance, basically, you don't want to banish 1, but I wanted to have some space in the extra deck, so I only played 2 instead of playing 3. If you have the space in your extra deck, play 3, but I didn't. There was actually one game where I actually ended up summoning both anyways, so it was actually really good. 1 Durandal. This never came up. I wish it did, though, because it's basically another copy of Reincarnation. Just kind of cool. 1 Thousand Eyes Restrict for an instant fusion target. I was originally playing 2, but I needed space in my extra deck. I guess I would switch this for Thousand Eyes in hindsight, but I don't think 2 ever came up. 2 Panzer Dragon to make the Pleiades. So And there was actually a time where I didn't even make the Pleiades. I just summoned this and popped a card on my opponent's end phase because of its own effect. So it has like a double effect that you can use. It was pretty good. And for Super Poly targets, we played 1 Starving Venom and 1 Violet Chimera. I never resolved Super Poly. I wish I did, but I think that these are really, really good. For Link monsters, these are monsters that we really never summoned. I think I summoned Link Kuriboh like twice, and I think I also summoned Phoenix twice, and I never made Unicorn, but I think these are all really good Link monsters to play in the extra deck, so I wouldn't change these. And for the Synchros, obviously just the 1 Omega. Rip a card out of your opponent's hand is pretty good. And for Cherries, we actually played Cherries, so these are Cherries targets. I only ever played against Orcus twice, so playing the Galatea was really, really good. These weren't as good, but I wish that I played against Striker and Salamangreat, so that I could actually test them, but I think that they're really good to play. Moving on to side deck, we played 3 Vanity's Fiend. Basically, if you're not going against Striker, or I think that's it, like Crusadia is like, and they auto lose to this card. I summoned this, and he literally just put out his hand, and he was like, "You got it. Like I don't have an out." And yeah, he just lost. I don't think Salamangreat have an out to this. I don't think any deck in the format actually has an out to this card. Well, I mean, some do, like Striker does, obviously, with Afterburners and Widow Anchor. But I think that it is really worth playing, and at least giving it a try. And then 3 cherries for the Salamangreat, for Striker, and for Orcus. And I ended up playing against 2 Orcus decks, and I cherried one of them, and he just couldn't do anything, and it was great. And then I had a Sanctum for the following turn, so he just lost. It was really good. 2 Pankratops. I don't have space in the extra deck to or side deck to play 3, but the 2 was fine. 2 Sphere Mode. I never drew this. I ended up siding it against Pendulum Magicians and I think Crusadia, but I never drew it in either one of those games. So I'm still kind of testing this. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. I don't always use my normal summon, so these are pretty good. And then we played 2 Super Poly. I never resolved this either, but I think that it's still worth playing. And for the last trap that we played was 3 Heavy Storm Duster, so we can set it off Trap Trick. And that's it. So, I don't think I have anything else to say. My matchups were, I don't even remember my matchups, actually. I played like 7, it was 7 rounds, and I went 5-2. And I think I ended up getting 18th place, and of course it was top 16, so I just barely didn't get the invite. I just got really bad tiebreakers. I got like at the bottom of the players who got the same record as me, which is unfortunate, but it happens, so, you know. Anyways, shoutouts to Emily for recording this, because she is great. Shoutouts to Tyler for lending me some cards. And shoutouts to Trent for letting me buy all this Trickstar core off of him. And that's it. Okay, bye.